Thank you, Claire. We're always delighted to be invited here. And I wanted to just underline what Claire said, that the LRC has been very supportive of us and our struggle to get recognition for sex workers and for decriminalization. And I also wanted to say, because I know John might have to leave, that John McDonnell has been absolutely fantastic. He's been able to see, he's worked with us and supported our work for over 30 years. He starts with workers, and he's been able to see, he's not had a problem with seeing that sex workers are workers, just like everybody else. And he always makes a way in our struggle for decriminalization. So I just wanted to say thanks. We don't often get the chance. I wanted to go on quickly because I know it's getting late and people have more questions that you'll want to ask. But we are, some of you know, we're a network of sex workers and former sex workers. We campaign for decriminalization, which means that we want to abolish the laws. We are Black and immigrant women, we're white women, many of us are mothers. We are from rural areas and also from cities. We campaign, our first priority is women's safety and rights. We start with street workers who face the worst violence and discrimination, and who are often at the brunt of police violence. We don't glamorize or glorify sex work or any work. We do it because we have to do it, and often because we don't have other options. Poverty is the root cause of prostitution. Because most sex workers are mothers, the vast majority are single mothers, we're often out there working to put food on the table, to keep our families off the streets and out of food banks. And sometimes it is our only option, or it's the best option of many bad options. We know that there are women, immigrant women in our network who are sending money home into countries where there's no welfare, no health care, and people are struggling to survive on very little. We see in this country that there are asylum seekers who are driven to destitution. A single asylum seeker receives £35 a week, but as soon as they refuse your case, you get nothing. And so that is a direct, what they've done to asylum seekers is what they're extending to everybody else. And it's not an accident. And I have to just say here that there's just been news in the paper, some of you may have seen, a mother and a child were found dead in a flat. There was no food and there was nothing in it. Now, that is an absolute, that means our government are criminals to let that happen to anybody. And we know that, asylum seekers are going on the game in order to make up for the fact that they have absolutely nothing. This is a policy, it's not an accident. It's not like it didn't happen by chance. It's a plan. And it's not an accident that the welfare reform bill, which aimed to cut benefits, was in Parliament at the same time as criminalizing clients. And what criminalizing clients does is to drive women underground, and it gives the police more powers to harass us, and that's why we strongly oppose that policy. So it's a plan. People may have trouble believing it, but it is definitely a plan, and we are suffering from it. I would just mention that in Doncaster, in 2015, a survey of street workers found that 60% of women were on the game because of benefit sanctions. And we know, and Corbyn's leadership has been so helpful in spelling out how 80% of the cuts are falling on women. So they know very well that when there's nothing out there, women will turn to whatever we can. And we're not ashamed of what we do, to take care of our families and communities. Just wrapping up, there were a couple of more points I wanted to make, that we've come up against, unfortunately, labor women who have not wanted to support sex workers, who say that we're victims, or who basically want to be in charge of us and tell us what to do. And just recently, an MP, Kate Green, made an attack on Corbyn for supporting decriminalization. He was asked by students, and he said he supported decriminalization. And we've written a statement which we're going to circulate around, calling her out and saying that that is really not acceptable. We've also been speaking out against women MPs who use gender to attack Corbyn. We think that's an absolute scandal, because no one has done more than Jeremy Corbyn to defend women, to defend the vulnerable, to defend mothers and sex workers. So I think that we as women have got to be much more vocal about that. In the same way, we have to call out black MPs who are undermining Corbyn's leadership. And in fact, we know that Corbyn has a very good track record. Our group is not party political, but we certainly support the changes that we're seeing coming with Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell's leadership of the Labour Party. I will just finish off by saying that we are part of the movement. We're not sexual outlaws. We're part of the women's movement. We're part of the workers' movement. We're part of the international movement for justice and change. We're part of the new movement that's so active now. And we hope that you can stand with us and support us. As the speaker earlier said from the Bakers Union, and we really support their campaign, for a decent wage. He said that every movement is political. And we hope that you can stand with us and support us in what we're doing. Thank you.